6 signs you're a weak man and how to fix it. What does it truly mean to be strong? We live in a world where strength is often defined by how much we can physically lift, how tough we appear on the outside, or how we can tough it out in difficult situations. But strength, true strength, isn't just about muscle or grit. It's something much deeper. It's about the strength of your character, your ability to navigate the ups and downs of life, and how you show up as a man in this world. But here's the truth. Often, what we see as strength can actually be a mask for something much weaker. There are signs of weakness in every man, signs that can be difficult to spot, especially when we've become so used to them in ourselves or in others. Weakness doesn't always look like what we expect it to. It's not always loud, obvious, or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet and subtle, hiding in the choices we make or the way we react to life. In this video, we're going to dive into the 6 signs of a weak man, signs that many of us may not even realize we're displaying. But recognizing these signs is the first step toward breaking free from them. I want you to think of this as a mirror, one that reflects back to you, not just who you are right now, but who you could become. A mirror that shows you the areas where growth is possible, where you can become more than what you've been. These 6 signs aren't meant to tear you down. They're meant to build you up, to give you the tools to recognize the weakness within, so you can replace it with strength. And in that process, you'll not only become stronger for yourself, but for everyone around you too. So, I invite you to take a deep breath and approach this video with an open heart. We're going to walk through these signs, and I'll share with you how to transform them. Whether you're someone who's struggling in some of these areas, or you just want to keep improving, this is the first step in creating a more powerful, more intentional version of yourself. Let's begin the journey to understanding and growth, so you can truly become the man you're meant to be. Sign 1. Inability to take responsibility. Let's start with the first sign of weakness, the inability to take responsibility. You know the type of person I'm talking about. The one who always finds someone or something else to blame when things go wrong. It's never their fault. It's always someone else's mistake, a bad situation, or an external force that caused the failure. Now let me be clear. This is not about saying everything is your fault all the time. Life happens, and not everything is within your control. But here's the thing. When you refuse to take responsibility for your own actions, your own choices, or even your own failures, you stop growing. You lose the power to change your situation because you're busy pointing fingers instead of looking at yourself. Think about it. When you mess up, do you stand up and own it? Do you say, "Hey, that was me. I made that mistake"? Or do you try to sweep it under the rug or shift the blame? When you can't own your mistakes, you can't learn from them. And if you can't learn from them, how can you grow into a stronger, better version of yourself? I want you to think about a moment in your life where something went wrong. Did you blame someone else? Did you dodge responsibility? Or did you face up to it? It's okay if you didn't take full responsibility at the time. We all slip up. But the key to growing stronger is owning it, learning from it, and doing better next time. That's how men grow. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you're perfect, but it does mean you're willing to admit when things aren't right. And that's a sign of true strength. It's empowering when you realize that you can shape your future by owning your past. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. It's about how you respond to those failures. If you take responsibility, even in the face of mistakes, you can learn, adapt, and push forward. If you run from it, you'll keep finding yourself stuck in the same patterns, never moving forward. The real power is in your ability to say, "I made this happen, but I can change it." That's the mark of a strong man. Sign 2. Fear of change and growth. Let's move on to the second sign, fear of change and growth. Change is inevitable. It's the one thing that's constant in life, and yet so many men are terrified of it. They cling to what they know, no matter how bad it might be for them, because it feels safe. But here's the truth. Nothing stays the same. Time doesn't stop. Your circumstances don't stand still. And if you don't evolve, you'll be left behind. A weak man is afraid of change. He avoids it, resists it, and finds comfort in the status quo. He might know deep down that his job isn't fulfilling, his relationship isn't healthy, or his life lacks direction, but he's too afraid to do something about it. He tells himself, it's not that bad, or things will get better on their own. But the truth is, nothing changes unless you make it change. Think about your own life. Are there areas where you're stuck, where you're avoiding making a tough decision because you're afraid of the unknown? Maybe you're in a job you hate, but are too scared to leave. Maybe you're in a relationship that's draining you, but the idea of being alone is too much to face. Or maybe you've been putting off making big changes in your life because it feels easier to just stay where you are. Let me tell you this, staying stuck isn't the answer. Change can be uncomfortable, but it's also where growth happens. The pain of staying the same, of never evolving, will always be greater than the discomfort of pushing yourself to grow. I know it's hard. Change is scary, and growth requires a level of vulnerability and courage that not everyone is ready to face. But if you're willing to embrace it, even the small changes, you'll start to see the bigger shifts that can transform your life. And here's the beautiful part about growth. It doesn't just benefit you. When you grow, you become more capable of helping others, more equipped to build the life you want, and more resilient in the face of challenges. So ask yourself, are you allowing fear to keep you from becoming the man you're meant to be? Are you stuck because you're afraid of what might happen if you change? It's okay to be scared, but don't let that fear dictate your future. The man you're meant to be, the strong, empowered, and confident man, will only come when you're willing to embrace the discomfort of growth. Growth doesn't happen in the safety of your comfort zone. It happens when you step into the unknown, take risks, and learn to adapt. Life is a constant journey of growth, and the stronger man is the one who chooses to face it head-on, even when it's uncomfortable. Sign 3. Emotional instability and lack of self-control. Now, let's talk about emotional instability and the lack of self-control. This is a big one. I want you to think about your emotions for a moment. We all have them, right? Emotions are a natural part of being human. But what happens when those emotions start to control you, instead of you controlling them? A weak man is someone who lets his emotions dictate his actions. He reacts impulsively, whether it's anger, frustration, or sadness, and doesn't take the time to process his feelings before responding. He might yell, lash out, or make decisions based purely on how he feels in the moment. And often, these emotional reactions only make the situation worse. Emotional instability doesn't just hurt you, it hurts the people around you. When you lose control of your emotions, you stop being reliable. People don't know what to expect from you. You become unpredictable, and that lack of stability can wear down your relationships, your work life, and your sense of inner peace. Now, I know emotions can feel overwhelming. Trust me, we all experience that. There are moments in life where you feel like everything is spiraling, and it's tempting to just give in to the emotion of the moment. But real strength comes from having control over your emotions, not letting them control you. And this takes practice. It's about learning how to pause, breathe, and choose your response instead of just reacting. Think about the last time you lost control. Maybe you snapped at someone or made a decision you later regretted because you didn't stop to think first. What would have happened if you'd taken a moment to process your feelings? What if, instead of reacting immediately, you took a breath, thought about the consequences, and then made a calm decision. That's what emotional intelligence is about. Being able to recognize what you're feeling, understand why you're feeling it, and then choose how to respond. It doesn't mean you never feel anger or frustration. That's impossible. But it does mean you learn how to channel those emotions in healthy, productive ways. Self-control isn't just about holding back in a moment of anger. It's about being able to pause, think, and act in a way that reflects your best self. It's about building resilience so that you're not constantly swayed by your emotions. And when you do this, you'll notice a shift in your life. People will trust you more. You'll feel more at peace with yourself, and you'll build stronger, more stable relationships. Sign 4. Lack of personal boundaries. Next, we're diving into a major sign of weakness, a lack of personal boundaries. This one is huge because it touches every area of life, relationships, work, and even your own mental health. A weak man is often someone who doesn't know where to draw the line. He lets people walk all over him. He says yes to everything, and he puts everyone else's needs ahead of his own, even when it's detrimental to himself. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't just something nice to have. They're essential. They protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. Without boundaries, you end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and resentful. And what happens when you're constantly overextending yourself? You lose yourself in the process. You give so much to others that you forget to take care of yourself, and that leads to burnout. I want you to take a moment and think about the relationships in your life, whether it's your family, friends, or co-workers. Are you constantly doing things for others at the expense of your own well-being? Are you afraid to say no when someone asks for your time, even if it's something that doesn't align with your own needs or goals? This is where boundaries come in. Healthy boundaries are about knowing what you need, understanding your limits, and being willing to communicate that clearly to others. They're not about being selfish or mean. They're about respecting yourself enough to know when to say no and when to say yes in a way that honors your time and energy. A weak man is afraid to set boundaries because he doesn't want to disappoint others or face conflict. He thinks that if he keeps saying yes, he'll be liked or accepted. But the truth is, people will respect you more when you have clear boundaries. And more importantly, you'll respect yourself. Think about the last time you allowed someone to cross a boundary, whether it was in a relationship or at work. How did it make you feel? Probably frustrated, overwhelmed, or resentful, right? That's a sign that you didn't set a healthy boundary. Setting boundaries isn't easy. It takes practice and courage to stand up for yourself, especially when you fear the reaction from others. But when you start setting clear, firm boundaries, you'll notice a huge difference in how you feel about yourself and how others treat you. It's a sign of inner strength, knowing when to protect your peace and your space. Sign 5. Fear of conflict and confrontation. Now, let's talk about conflict. I know this is a tough one because many of us avoid conflict like the plague. We want to keep the peace, keep things smooth, and keep everyone happy. But here's the thing. Avoiding conflict all the time doesn't make you a strong man. It makes you weak. A weak man is someone who avoids confrontation at all costs. He shies away from difficult conversations because he fears the discomfort. He might swallow his feelings, ignore problems, or even let resentment build up inside, all because he doesn't want to rock the boat. But in the end, this avoidance only causes more damage. Problems don't go away just because you don't address them. They fester. They grow. They begin to erode your relationships and your peace of mind. Think about it. How many times have you held back from saying what you really think or feel? Maybe you were in a relationship where you avoided telling the truth to keep from hurting someone's feelings. Or maybe at work, you didn't speak up when something wasn't right because you were afraid of the fallout. We all do it from time to time, but here's the catch. Avoiding conflict might feel easier in the short term, but it never solves anything. The truth is, conflict is inevitable. It's part of life. Whether it's with your partner, a colleague, or even a friend, there will be moments when disagreements arise, and when they do, how you handle them defines your strength. A strong man doesn't run from conflict. He faces it. He handles it with grace, respect, and maturity. He knows that addressing the issue head-on, even if it's uncomfortable, is the only way to move forward and preserve his integrity. I'm not saying you should look for arguments or try to create conflict out of nothing. But when something is wrong, whether it's a miscommunication, a misunderstanding, or a difference in values, it's crucial to address it. Standing up for yourself and your beliefs doesn't make you a troublemaker. It makes you a person of strength. And when you handle conflict with honesty and respect, you create deeper trust and stronger relationships. So, ask yourself, how do you deal with conflict? Do you shy away, hoping it'll go away on its own? Or do you face it with courage and clarity? Don't be afraid of the uncomfortable conversations. Embrace them, because they are often the key to growth. When you learn to navigate conflict, you not only gain respect from others, you gain respect for yourself. Sign 6. Lack of purpose and direction. Lastly, let's talk about something that ties everything together: lack of purpose and direction. This is perhaps one of the most damaging signs of weakness, because when you lack purpose, you lack focus. And without focus, life can start to feel like you're just drifting, tossed around by whatever comes your way, never truly moving forward. A weak man is someone who wakes up every day without a clear sense of direction. He might go through the motions of life, but he's not really living with intention. He's unsure of what he wants, what he stands for, or what he's trying to achieve. His days blend together, and each day feels just like the one before. There's no fire, no excitement, and no real passion driving him forward. But here's the thing. Everyone has the potential to live with purpose. It's not something reserved for a select few. It's available to all of us. The question is, are you willing to take the time to find it? When you have purpose, everything shifts. You wake up with a reason to move forward. You don't just exist, you thrive. Having a sense of direction gives you clarity, motivation, and the energy to keep going, even when times get tough. It's like having a compass that guides you, no matter what challenges come your way. Think about your own life. Do you have a sense of purpose? Are you clear on what you want to achieve in your personal life, your career, or your relationships? If not, that's okay. It's something that can be discovered. But you need to take the time to reflect and ask yourself the tough questions. What drives you? What legacy do you want to leave? What kind of man do you want to become? Without purpose, it's easy to fall into a routine of complacency. But with purpose, even the hardest days become easier because you're working towards something meaningful. And that, my friend, is what gives life depth, fulfillment, and meaning. A weak man might not know where he's going, but a strong man, he knows. He has a direction, and that direction leads him toward growth, fulfillment, and success. And if you haven't found that purpose yet, that's okay. It's not too late to start, but you have to commit to the journey. You have to put in the work, explore what excites you, and seek out what gives your life meaning. When you have purpose, life no longer feels aimless. You feel connected to something bigger than yourself, and that connection fuels you to rise every single day with intention. This is how you build a life that matters. Conclusion: the path to personal strength. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed. We've talked about 6 powerful signs of weakness that many of us struggle with at some point in our lives. These signs aren't meant to discourage you. Instead, they serve as a wake-up call, an opportunity to reflect on where you are and where you want to go. Remember, no man is perfect. We all have weaknesses, and acknowledging them is the first step toward true growth. But growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, and it requires time, patience, and, most importantly, commitment. The path to personal strength is not about eliminating every flaw or mastering every skill right away. It's about becoming aware of where you are weak and then deciding to take action. It's about recognizing that your past doesn't define your future. In every weakness, there is an opportunity for growth. When you stop avoiding responsibility, you take control of your life. When you stop fearing change, you start embracing the life you deserve. When you manage your emotions, you build a foundation of stability that others can trust. When you set boundaries, you reclaim your time, energy, and peace. When you face conflict, you learn how to assert yourself and handle tough situations with grace. And when you find purpose, you become driven by something greater than yourself. The key to becoming a strong man isn't in avoiding these weaknesses. It's in facing them head-on. It's in acknowledging that every challenge you face is an opportunity to evolve, to become better, and to develop the strength you've always wanted. Strength doesn't come from running away from difficulties or pretending they don't exist. True strength is built when you confront your weaknesses, learn from them, and rise above them. But it's important to remember that this is a process. There will be days when you slip. There will be moments when you feel weak, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward. The path to personal strength isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself every day, committing to do better, and knowing that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the man you want to become. So, I challenge you to look at yourself in the mirror today. Take a long, honest look. What are the areas in your life where you feel weak? What are the signs that you can work on? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it? Because you hold the power to change. You hold the power to grow. You hold the power to transform your weaknesses into strengths. This journey is yours to take, and every single step you take brings you closer to the man you are capable of becoming. You are stronger than you think. Believe in your ability to change. Believe in your ability to grow. And most of all, believe in your ability to become the best version of yourself. The path to personal strength starts today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start right now.